Hi everyone, Aiden here at etrailer.com. Today we're taking a look at and showing you how to install these Titan chain twist link snow tire chains on our 2022 Ram 1500. The first thing you want to do with your chains is get them laid out and make sure nothing's tangled up. These ones are looking pretty good right now, and then the second thing we want to do is look at these sections here where the cross section of chain joins up with the outer section, and we've got a link here that has a smooth side and a more abrasive side. We want that more abrasive hooked side to be face up away from the tire. And then we want our lever arm here on the outside of the tire so we can access it. Once all that's been done, we can grab the tire chain by the middle and drape it over the tire. When you're doing this, be careful to not hit the vehicle and just try to keep it fairly centered up on the tire, front to back and side to side. Right about there is maybe looking good. Scoot it over a little bit here. And once we're happy with where it's sitting, we can go around to the back to make our first connection. On my end, we're going to have a hook end, and then on the side by you guys, we've got some free links. You want to hook these two ends together, and you don't always have to go to the very outer link. I'm actually going to go to the second one on here just to try it out. That's why we always recommend trying this in your driveway once or twice before you're in that snowy situation, so you know how this fits on your tire. From here we can make a connection out front, and if need be you might need to pull and adjust the chain a bit. Right about there is looking good, and it's seeming like it might be a little tight up front. Can pull on it and adjust it a bit to try to see if I can get it fitting better. But essentially what we want to do is feed this lever arm through one of the links up front and fold it back on itself. Now, from the way it's looking right now, I might need to loosen that connection in the back because this is a little tight, but we might be able to get it to fit. You want a little bit of tension on this lever, but right now it's seeming like I can't do it by hand. So I'm going to actually loosen that connection in the back by one link, and this is why you want to do it at home, just to ease that process of going back and forth in that inclement weather. And from here, that's a much better fit. I'm feeling a little bit of tension right here as I fold it back onto that free link. And the final fitment is pretty darn good. One thing I am going to add is a rubber tensioner. These aren't included in your kit, but we always recommend adding them. You can just scroll down in the related parts section on your page and pick up a pair from there. These are just going to provide some extra tension on the tire chain to make sure it stays in place well. You want to apply this in a star-shaped pattern relatively evenly, going back and forth from one side to the next until it's all across the tire chain, and it's definitely helping out our fitment. At this point, you want to install the other side and then drive over them a few times. Come out and check on them, make sure that nothing's settled in or adjusted too much, and once you've verified that everything's fitting properly still, you're ready to hit the road. Now, like we mentioned in the beginning, this is a twist link chain, and you can see that shape a little bit better on the tire here. Each link has a sort of twisted shape that's going to help with a low profile look, but also it's going to feel a bit better when you're driving. It's not going to be as jarring compared to a square link or a V-bar style. With that, it isn't going to be as aggressive. It's not going to bite into ice as well as the square link or V-bar would. So just be mindful of that. It's still going to be plenty fine for deep snow, especially with the size of the links here. It is a ladder pattern style, so we have these gaps in the middle where our tire is going to poke out. It's going to be a little bit bumpier because of that, but it's going to be good for starts and stops and getting that traction in those situations. There aren't any cam tensioners built in. Some Titan chains do offer that. That can be nice for fine-tuning adjustment without the need of a tensioner, but I'd say this one fits just fine, and that lever arm on the bottom helps with applying some tension before we get to the rubber tensioner. It does come with a storage bag. It's just a canvas bag. These are not my favorite just because they do have a tendency to rip over time, and it's a little hard to get the chains back in here, especially if you don't already have one in like we do. It's just hard to hold open. I always recommend picking up a plastic tote just because it's going to be water resistant and it's going to be easier to store them in. These are a low carbon steel construction, which might not be the most durable thing in the world. It's a bit of a softer steel, so you might notice some denting over time depending on how and where you're using them. With these, it might not be that big a deal though. The V-bar style chains are the ones I point that out on because those V's might wear down over time and you might have to replace them after a couple seasons. With these though, I don't think it'll be as much of a concern, but just keep an eye on it. And that's about all there is to know. If you need something more aggressive, check out those square or V-bar style options. Titan Chain has plenty. Just enter your vehicle information into our fit guide and find the right size pair for you. Otherwise, that'll complete our look at these twist link snow tire chains. Thanks for watching.